That was weird. I've never gotten that notification before. Said he got removed from the meeting. I don't know what is happening. Okay, so we have 3x plus 4y equals 9, but we're trying to solve for y. So same kind of stuff that we were doing before where we were moving the variables to the other side and then dividing, multiplying, adding, and subtracting. So we have 3x plus 4y equals 9, and we're trying to solve for y. So I want to get y by itself. So I am going to subtract 3x from both sides. To get y by itself. So I'll be left with 4y, that looks like an x, equals 9 minus 3x. And then now that I have this, I'm going to get y by itself. So I'm going to get rid of the 4 by dividing everything by 4 because that gets y by itself. So then my new equation is y equals 9 minus 3x divided by 4. So does that make sense? We were kind of we're moving things around to get the y by itself. Does that make sense? I'm seeing yes from Isaiah. Put no in the chat if you need me to explain something. Okay, so going to our next practice problem. Oops. We have solve the literal equation for x, or for z. So we have y equals 3x plus 5xz. So this time I have my y that's by itself, but I want to get z by itself. So this is a little bit more than what we're going to do in the homework today, but I thought I'd give you the example. So both, what do the 3 and the 5 have in common? They both have the x. So what I can do is I can remove the x and then put it in parentheses. And I'll have 3 plus 5z and then y equals. And then now I want to move everything to the other side to get z by itself. So I'm going to, or no, I'm not solving for z. I wrote this wrong. Solving for x. That makes much more sense because I was like, z? Okay, sorry. Sorry. We're solving for x. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to divide because the x and the 3 and the plus 5z are being multiplied. So the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by 3 plus 5z. And what I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other. So my new equation is, I'm going to write it over here where there's more room. Y divided by 3 plus 5z equals x. So now I've solved for x because it's by itself and everything else over here is alone. So does that make sense? I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to show you how we're doing it for formulas. Okay, so solve the equation for y. So I want to get y by itself. So I'm going to move everything to the other side of the equation to get y by itself. So to get rid of the negative x, I do the opposite, which is addition. So I'm going to add x to both sides. And then I'll have 3y equals 9 plus x. And then how am I going to get rid of the 3 that's attached to the y? Multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction? Type it in the chat. So the 3 is being multiplied by the y. So what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Good job. So I'm going to divide by 3 to get the y by itself. And what I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other. So my new equation is y equals 9 plus x divided by 3. So now what your homework will ask from this step is step 1 will be to rewrite the equation for the other variable, and then it'll give you like x equals 6. So then I'm going to plug that into my equation to solve for y. So 9 plus 6 divided by 3. 9 plus 6 gives me 15. And 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So y equals 5. Does that make sense? Okay, Jasmine's giving me a no. Isaiah's giving me a yes. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. Solve the literal equation for x. I have y equals 5x minus 4x. So I'm going to combine my like terms. So 5x minus 4x. 5x and a minus 4x together equals x. So y equals x. Because I got it's now x equals something. Does that make sense, Jasmine? Kind of. Okay, so maybe the homework will help. So I'm going to go back to this one. The formula for the surface area is S equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. And we're trying to solve the formula for length. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to subtract the 2WH from both sides because I want to get the L's on one side and the other stuff on the other, everything else on the other side. So give me a second while I rewrite this slowly but surely. So what's the opposite of addition?
Subtraction.
Okay, so I'm going to subtract this 2WH to move it to the other side. That's going to cancel. I'm going to have S minus 2WH equals 2LW plus 2LH. And then now I'm going to take the L out like I did in this problem, how I took the X out. So I'm going to take the L out. And then I'll be left with 2W plus 2H equals S minus 2WH. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2WH to get L by itself. And then my final answer will be L equals S minus 2WH all over 2W plus 2H. So that got L by itself, right? Okay. So we'll do my computer just froze. Okay, there we go. We will do part of the homework together because we still have a couple minutes or 13 minutes left. So let me just go in and assign it, but now my computer's being slow. Like so slow. Okay. So it is a Google form for today's assignment. My computer is being so slow. So let me share that with you. Okay, so complete the Google form as today's homework assignment. Make sure to click submit on Google Classroom when finished. So you're gonna open it up and it'll look like this. What period are you in? Fourth. And then each question is gonna be like its own tab. So you'll go to next. So there's 6 questions total. So solve each equation for the variable it asks for, then find the answer with the given information. So in this one, it's asking you to solve for M. And then you're going to plug in these numbers and find what M equals. Okay, so solve the equation y equals mx plus b, but solve for M. So I have, and if you guys feel confident that you want to get started on this, you can, but I'm just going to do a couple of problems with you guys. So I have y equals mx plus b. Solve for M. So what I'm going to do is I want to get everything to this side except for M. So I'm going to subtract B from both sides. Those will cancel. And I'll be left with y minus B equals mx. And then now how am I going to get the M by itself? What am I going to do? Okay, so the M and the X are being multiplied by each other. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And I'm going to divide by X because multiplication and division will cancel each other out. So then I'll be left with y minus b divided by x equals m. Or I can rewrite it as m equals y minus b divided by x just so that the m is on the left side. So does that make a little bit more sense? So then I'm going to come into the Google form, and that would be option 1. So I'll click option 1, and then it says the slope of the line is represented by m. What is the slope when y equals 15, b equals 3, and x equals 2? So where I have y, b, and x in this equation, I'm going to put those numbers to solve for m. So m equals y minus b over x. Y is 15, b is 3, and x is 2. So I just took those numbers and plugged it into the equation where they were letters before. So 15 minus 13 is 12. And then divided by 2, 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. So then in the part here where it says your answer, I type in the number 6. And that's all you do for the equations, or for that one, and then you go next to the next problem. Okay? So I'm going to do one more with you guys, and then the rest I'll let you do on your own for homework. There's 6 total. So I have P equals 2L plus 2W. Solve for L. So I'm going to get L by itself. So in order to do that, I need to move the 2W, and it's being added. So I'm going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. What I do to one side of the equation, I must do to both. So P minus 2W equals 2L is my new equation. And now I'm going to solve for L. And just like I did in the examples, when it's being multiplied by each other, to get rid of it, I do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to do that to both sides of the equation. And then I have P minus 2W divided by 2 equals L. So my equation is L equals P minus 2W divided by 2. So then in the homework, I would click option 2. And then now it says, what is the length of the side when the perimeter is 32 and width is 6? So when P is 32 and width and W is 6. So for P, I'm going to put 32. And then for W, I'm going to put 6 divided by 2. So 2 times 6 is 12. (32 minus 12 gives me 20 divided by 2. So L equals 10. So then in your answer, you put the number 10. Okay, so that is today's assignment. So it's due next Monday at midnight. If you have questions, let me know. I would recommend, if you don't finish it all in one go, since you can't like save a Google form, I would recommend just doing it on notebook paper, and then that way you can go back and do it. What's the answer for option? I think it was option 2. For question 2, it's option 2.
I think I might have got this down.
Yeah, I believe in you. I'm so mad about the document camera. Ugh. Okay. I'm going to stop recording now.